Welcome, everyone, to another edition of Cafe Esoterica Radio. It's Shawn Cohen, your hostess with the mostest. And tonight, today, this morning,
minutes until showtime.
Wherever you are, we have a wonderful guest. We always have wonderful guests. My guest today, this morning, is coming to me all the way from India. And he is a Vedic astrologer. Now, we haven't started the Blog Talk Radio show yet, okay? But he's on hold there. His name is Pundit Katti Narahari. Did I say it right?
That's perfect. That's perfect.
Okay, hello. Oh, I've got someone in the chat room already. Sandeep Mishra. Namaste. How are you? That's in the YouTube one. So if you clicked on the link, if you could do both, you don't have to, but if you could do both, you can write in the chat room. I am his student. Wonderful. Thank you for joining us.
3 minutes until showtime.
We're going to go live in just a little minute here. We're not live on the Blog Talk Radio, which is really where the show is happening. This is just recording me doing it. So let me just write in this chat room, welcome to all. Okay. And yes.
I'm not mistaken, Sandeep is my student.
He said he was your student.
Oh, he did.
Yes, I just said that out. He says, I am his student.
All right.
And I said, welcome. All students, definitely welcome. So, you know, I know absolutely nothing about Vedic astrology. I've been an astrologer, Western astrologer, for 35 years or more. But, you know, this is what happens. This is why it's wonderful to have you on the show, because it will be fascinating.
2 minutes until showtime.
2 minutes to showtime. It'll be fascinating to hear you speak about it. And, you know, we're going to go into it. I might have stupid questions. I might have good questions. I don't know. But whatever, you'll tell us about it.
Absolutely. Every question is a good question anyway. So.
See, spoken like a true teacher. Okay, I'm going to make an announcement on Facebook. I always try to get this in right before we go live. So 2 minutes to show. Because you have to tell people right before it happens or they just forget about it. You know, 2 minutes to show. Come on in. Vedic Scholar.
1 minute until showtime.
Okay, so Katie, I'm sorry. What's going to happen is this. Is the music's going to start, right? Then we have to be quiet, because if we talk over the music, everyone will hear it. And I will mute your mic. Okay, I'm going to do that now. We've got 40 seconds to go in. And I'll bring you up after I do my show news and introduce you, okay? I'm going to talk a little bit about Pittsburgh, too, because of what happened there. All righty?
All righty.
Okay, so see you in a few minutes. Thank you. Just hang in there. Right. Okay, and we're going live in 13 seconds. You'll hear the music come in. And,
Your show will go live in 5 seconds.
Here we go.
4, 3, 2, 1. Blog Talk Radio. Blog Talk Radio. With your hostess with the mostest, metaphysician, psychic medium, tarot reader, author, astrologer, past life regressionist, Shawn M. Cohen, that's me, live in London, England. I invite you to come on in, relax, pull up a cozy chair, or get comfy on the couch. Listen to Wonderment. Drink in your favorite libation. a cappuccino, a latte, or perhaps a herbal tea. As we transform, enlighten, and awaken your soul with unique guests from the mind, body, and spirit genres, practitioners in the know, enlightened guests. Each discussion, magic, metaphysics, and mirth are always on the menu here at Cafe Esoterica Radio. So come on in. If you want to call in and be part of the show, we welcome your calls. The number to call is outside the United States, you'll have to dial 001, but inside the United States, you dial 516, area code 387-1809. And scroll down to the bottom of the landing page, and you'll find our chat room. Come on in, participate in the chat room. If you want to sign up for a free listener's account on Blog Talk Radio, you will then be able to display your name in the chat room. But either way, we welcome you. Our website is www.cafeesoterica.wixsite.com/radio show. And if you'd like to be on the show, please do email Shawn at cafeesoterica@gmail.com. We go live every Thursday, 7 to 9 p.m. UK time, 2 to 4 EST, 2 to 4 in the afternoon, and 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. on Pacific Coast, and worldwide. Your table is reserved. So come on in.
Welcome, everyone. Welcome to another edition, another stellar edition of Cafe Esoterica Radio on Blog Talk Radio. And you're watching me live on YouTube, and welcome. It is a rather interesting sort of time. I'm going to talk about a couple things before we dive into my show and my next guest. First, I'd like to thank for my last week's show, Sasha Niella. Sasha was a guest on my show last week. She is a naturopath, an astrologer, an energy healer, and a beautiful soul. And she works with helping people to, really come into their own, to find their soul's purpose, and soul alignment is one of her specialties. And that show is in the archive on our landing page on Blog Talk Radio, like all my past shows. 2 years of shows. 2 years of some of the finest guests that you could ever wish to have on Blog Talk Radio or any radio show, whether it's on the web or not, because I only choose guests who are really tuned in, awake, aware, and are helping this world. They're not glorifying themselves. They're not in show business, per se. We do have the odd musician on, but that's my weakness. I love music. And, but even they're spiritually awake, they're tuned in. So if you come to the show tonight, today, this morning, wherever you are in the world, you're very welcome. We love having you. So Sasha, you can find Sasha at Sasha Niella, NIALA.com if you want to check her out. Now, I don't know if my audience knows this, but they must know I'm American from my accent. And I live in London, and I've lived in London since 1985. But I went home, many times and worked back in home and worked in various places in the world. But Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania is my home, and Pittsburgh is where I grew up. And, it's been a really tough week for me because that whole incident happened to my community. I come from Jewish community, and when I was growing up, there were 3 Jewish communities in Pittsburgh. There's other ones now, but the main one is Squirrel Hill, where that incident happened. And where I grew up was a neighboring area called Stanton Heights, and some of my other Jewish friends grew up in the East End of Pittsburgh, which is down the road from Stanton Heights. So some of you will know my story, and you know that, I fell in love with a boy when I was 14. He was 16, and he came from Squirrel Hill. And in fact, he was Jewish, like me. I mean, my mother's Catholic, my father's Jewish. I was raised Jewish, even though I went to church with my aunts and uncles from my mother's side. So, I have a good mishmash, we say. And I think it all helped to lead me on my spiritual path. But, I grew up in these Jewish neighborhoods, and a lot of my friends, most of my friends were Jewish from these neighborhoods. And my first boyfriend was from Squirrel Hill, and he and his sister attended that synagogue. And so not just them, but many people I know. And of course, as you grow up, you may not leave the city like I did. All my siblings are still there, and many of my good friends and clients and students. I went back to work there in 2015 and did readings. So it's a really, really, I think we all feel, many people, even people who haven't lived back there, Pittsburgh is our home. That's where we grew up, all of our childhood memories and teenage years. And even I went to University of Pittsburgh, my college years are from there as well. I went to LA too and did university, but it's a very difficult time to understand why such hatred exists in the world. You can say that that man was acting on his own and he was mentally ill. I don't believe that. I don't believe that for a minute. He was clearly egged on and encouraged by a lot of the rubbish that's out there today. And there is so much rubbish, it's scary. And I feel, even though I really, my guest is my honored guest tonight, and the rest of the show will be about him and his work that he brings to the world, and it's very enlightening work, Vedic astrology. I have to say something. I feel compelled and heartbroken to say something. So I know I have listeners in Pittsburgh, and I just wanted to say that my heart is with you. And I'm sending, my condolences for your losses. And also that I live in London, which is a very multi-ethnic, diverse city, just like Pittsburgh, just like New York, just like a lot of these cities. And, it's a very interesting kind of time where we're almost going backwards instead of moving forward. Now, esoteric knowledge and spiritual knowledge is about love. At the core of everything, it's about love. And the truth movement, which I'm a part of, I'm all about telling the truth. I seek the truth. I've sought the truth all my adult life. A lot of the truth movement blames the Jews. They blame the Rothschilds. Fine, the Rothschilds might be involved in some heinous crimes. But that doesn't mean every single Jew on the planet is. And you can take one bad person or one bad group. If the mafia is responsible for loads of things that happened in Italy, would you hate every Italian? I mean, it just doesn't even make sense. And yet, this is where a lot of this stuff is coming from. And I'm ashamed of these truthers who do this. I'm in a movement that is about telling the truth to help humanity, to enlighten humanity. God created everyone on this planet. Every single human being was created by God. So how dare you accuse people of a group of people of crimes they didn't even commit? So, if you're anti-Semitic, please don't listen to my show. I don't need your energy coming towards me. If you're about love and not separation, then please do listen to my show, and you will continue to find beautiful, spiritually enlightened guests. That's all I want to say about that. Thank you very much. Now, moving on to what exactly what I just described, a beautifully enlightened I mean, enlightenment may not be the same definition for my guest, but let's talk about it, okay? Let me read his bio. First of all, let me tell you his name. His name is Pundit Katti. Please, God, let me say this right, because I want to get his name right. And it is, oh, come on. All right. I was a little upset about what I just said there, so I'm sorry. But I will calm down. Here it is. Here's his bio. Where is it? Here. Pundit Katti Narahari. See, I just don't want to say it wrong, or Katie. And let me read his bio. It's so fascinating. He is a scholar of Vedic astrology as well as a practitioner of it, and he lectures all over. So it says here, Katti Narahari belongs to a traditional family of astrologers from Madanur village, Kopal district, Karnataka. Oh, God help me. I don't speak Hindi. So bear with me, okay? So Katie studied under the tutelage of his uncle, Katie Seshagiri, I think. He began his Yoidish learning journey at a tender age of 7, following the strict traditional way of the Guru Sisha Parampara. Again, I hope I said that right. Katie's Yoitish journey has been marked with the knowledge from Dr. B.B. Raman's books. The intensive Yoitish training taught according to the ancient traditional way helped him to achieve depths of Yoitish with many traditional secrets. He later graduated in the field of commerce and later entered the field of information technology. Katie now is a senior professional SAP ERP technology consultant and trainer to many multinational companies worldwide. He uses Brihat Parasara Hora Shastra, Jamini. My God, I can't even say these things. I'm going to let you tell that bit, okay, Katie? He also teaches Yoitish that is found hidden in many scriptures and sacred literature, such as the Bhagavad Gita, Upanishads, Puranas, etc. He conveys Yoitish concepts to clients and students in a simple manner, demystifies many technical Yoitish jargons that can be understood by people from non-astrological background. So I just want to read one more paragraph because, there's loads of stuff here we'll talk about. Katie gives his students those basics that are often ignored by many modern Yoitish books and takes the focus back to the Maharishi's teachings, and in the process filling the void of advanced Yoitish concepts. To promote this traditional teaching by Parampara, he started Katie Academy of Yoitish Sciences, where his students not only learn, but also teach others by following the same discipline. His students not only learn Yoitish, but also mantra sastra, mathematical Yoitish, meditation, pranayama. Oh my God, I have to bring him on because I can't. I'm making a mess of that, I'm sure. Welcome to the show, Katie. Please come on and say hello.
Thank you, Shawn, for having me.
Oh, you're so welcome.
It's absolutely wonderful. In the past, I was a part of the astrology summit, which was again hosted by you.
Yes, yes, you were.
That you invited me for the show. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. I wonder if you can talk a little bit louder, because I have to get.
Oh, okay.
This computer has to be heard by the other computer. Do you know what I mean? And I don't have a microphone between the two. I wish I had a big microphone that could hook up to the two computers, but I haven't mastered that yet. So just a wee bit louder would be wonderful so everyone can hear you. I know your students are in the, and then I'm just going to ask them, can you hear him? Let me just ask so we make sure we got it right. I mean, maybe they'll say something.
I hope I'm loud enough now.
Okay, let's see. Sandeep, if you're still in there, can you hear him? Can you hear him when he speaks? If you're still in the chat room on the YouTube channel, okay? Let's see if he writes back. But anyway, let's talk about, I mean, you've had a stellar career. He says we can. Perfect. Okay, thank you. That's someone else. So Me3BT. Okay, thank you.
Also is my student.
His voice is a bit low. Okay.
Yeah, the person who just said we can, he too is my student.
Okay, so we have lots of your students here, which is fabulous. Thank you for coming. We're really happy to have you. Okay, so maybe if we could talk a little bit louder, like even project your voice, think you're in a theater. You know what I mean? It does help because we want to hear you. That's so important. I've got everything up full blast and it still sounds low. So let's okay. Okay.
I'm good.
Okay, so let's begin. I want to just talk about. I always say to my guests, how did how did you become the person you are today? What had to happen? What did happen? How was it? Did it evolve from your childhood? I mean, you mentioned in your brief, in your bio, that you studied with your family. That this is something that happened within the astrology is within your family, isn't it?
Yes, actually, yes. But going back, I come from a very diverse background.
Right.
I belong to a very, very traditional Hindu family at one end. That as far as my DNA is concerned, I belong to a very traditional family. But my schooling was all strictly Catholic. I actually did my schooling in a convent, purely a Catholic. So it was more of tradition at home, the Hindu traditions at home. There was a lot of Catholic at my school. India is a very diverse country. It's actually a continent. Many people say it's not a country. It's actually a continent by itself. Various people. And as far as my career is concerned, from commerce, I have lived in the US. I have been to UK. I have gone to certain places like interesting places. Like I've been to Angola in Africa. Been to most of the countries in the Gulf. So pretty much well traveled, and I have met people from different cultures. And I can say this one statement, I am also a Freemason, by the way.
Wow. So there's some metaphysics there for you, the Freemasonry. Yes?
Yes. I finished my the third degree of Masonry, Freemasonry. I belong to a lodge in Bangalore called Lodge Sainik. So pretty much very, very varied and diverse kind of a background. And since I belong to information technology, I meet people from different countries, different cultures. So the non-judgmental part is what I was having in my mind when you were talking. I have known you for some time now, and you were pretty shaken up when the Pittsburgh sad event happened.
Terrible.
This is, anyway. So my journey actually started, it is a norm, it is a rule in my family that anyone who comes to about 7 or 8 years of age needs to study astrology.
Wow. Well, is it? I think that's fantastic. Yeah, go on.
It so happened that many of my cousins are astrologers. I'm one of them. But I guess I am the last man batting right now. If I can give a cricket kind of example, I'm still staying on to astrology. But pretty much my entire learning from astrology started at the age of 7. There were a lot of questions I used to ask in the Catholic school, why Monday comes after Sunday and things like that. So this journey has been very, very grueling. My teacher is my uncle, who is about 8-9 years now, almost 90. And I still am very afraid talking to him even now. So that's the kind of the environment astrology was always there with me. So pretty much that, and I did a little bit of Western astrology prior to today's show. I have absolutely no idea, although I know that there are many similarities between Western and Vedic, but I guess I'll take those as the questions keep coming. So pretty much that's my background. I did not have any free will or any choice. It was something which everyone in my family has to do Jyotish or Vedic astrology, and I'm still enjoying every moment of it.
So it's, but then the soul, we say in the Western tradition, or I don't know, it's probably from your side, it's probably from the East. We say that this child or the soul chooses its family. Would you agree with that?
I'm absolutely in total agreement with you. No question about it.
Okay.
There is a reason why a person is born in a particular family, and there are some deep roots which we have to unearth or uncover during our spiritual journey.
Because the absolute why I ever became an astrologer is just there was nobody in my family ever practicing it. They weren't interested in it. They thought it was a bit nuts, whatever. But my mother happened to go to this party. She was an actress. I tell this many times. And she went to a party, and this woman was signing books. This was in the late 1960s. And the woman who was signing the book was Linda Goodman, Sun Signs, which is like a breakthrough, wow, big book in astrology. I mean, it's old now, and it's outdated in many ways now, but it was a great new beginning. And I found the book on the shelf, and I said to my mother, "What's this?" She said, "You can read it if you want." She could care less about it. And it was autographed to her, and it was the beginning for everything for me. And many Western astrologers cite her book. So it literally came to my house. Can you believe that? It's like God calls you up to your destiny, and here it was. I'm one of 3. I mean, one of 4, sorry. But, 3 other people could have taken that on board, but it was me.
Wonderful.
So
exactly, we both agree that these kind of sciences, which is very different from normal physics or mathematics we learn in school, this is something which either you belong to a practicing family, or the science or the metaphysical science or the astrology science actually literally finds its way to you.
Yes.
And that's been my very, very strong belief.
Yes. But I think it's amazing to be born into a family that practices all that. I mean, I'm sure it's a positive and loving thing. It's not, because learning it is so detailed. It takes years and years and years, So if the child is bored or the child doesn't want to, it's all around him or her, and if it's around him and her all the time, then it becomes the other language. Because astrology is a language, isn't it?
Oh, it is. It is a fantastic language of the planets. But then, if you don't enjoy it, then the science just moves on to some other person. But I guess we are all very lucky that we enjoy what we do, whether it is Western astrology or Indian astrology. Some of my friend does Chinese astrology in Singapore.
Yes.
So it's all different ways to get to the bottom of all the mysteries which the soul has been asking for a long time.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, okay. Well, on that note, I'm going to just go into, I would love you to talk about anything you want to talk about. But I've written a script. We don't have to follow it. It's very loose here because I really don't know anything about it. My own personal question, which I wrote to you on the Facebook chat, was in Vedic astrology, does a person go back a sign? I don't know where I heard that. So I'm an Aries. Would I be a Pisces?
All right. What happens is the Western astrology is focused, or it is from a viewpoint of the sun, which is what we call the sun signs, whereas the Vedic is all about the moon sign.
Ah, I didn't. Okay, that was so.
That's the first. Yeah, that's the first big difference in the approach.
Okay.
What happens is, yes, according to your April 6th date, month and the date, if you pick up the sun sign, then definitely you are an Aries.
Yes.
But what happens is, in Western astrology goes into or follows something as the movable zodiac. The zodiac of 360 degrees is considered a movable entity, which always keeps moving.
Right.
Whereas in Vedic, we actually use a fixed zodiac. So the question now comes is, what is the, how does it all pan out in terms of the, like you rightly said, it actually goes back, sometimes it does. So to address that, what happens is, so Vedic actually looks at when did we actually pin the zodiac to be stationary or fixed. So, as I said, Western astrology is all about movable zodiac. Now we say the zodiac actually is moving, but our reference point is that, look, we are going to pin the zodiac to a particular year. Many centuries years ago. So a lot of scholars have pinned that particular date. There is a lot of controversy. There is a lot of opinions as to this particular date is wrong. There is another date. But usually there is a difference of about, let's say, 22 or 23 degrees of longitude. So, and because of this, and we know that each of the 12 signs is 30 degrees in extent, and if you look at the change, which is about 22 to 23 degrees, you pretty much deduct, you pretty much subtract 22 odd degrees from the actual degree of the planet, and hence, most of the cases, the planets actually shift one sign back.
I see. Okay. Well, I'm 16.
Sometimes it does not. Sometimes it does not. For example, if, let us say, if somebody has 29 degrees in Aries, at the end of, according to the Western system, let's say it is 29 degrees of Aries, then even if you deduct 22, it will still be in Aries.
Right.
It all depends on what is the degree on which the subtraction or the deduction is happening.
Well, mine's 16. I'm going to Pisces then, aren't I?
Right.
Because mine is 16, and so is my Mercury. Does that count for every sign or just the sun? I mean, for every planet?
No, every planet.
Well, my moon's going back too?
Yes, you are a Capricorn by moon.
Oh my God.
Western would probably say you are an Aquarius, but the Vedic says you are actually a Capricorn. A Capricorn plus moon is about 25 degrees.
So,
after deduction, I mean.
So a Pisces with a Capricorn moon. Wow.
Pisces sun and Capricorn moon, Mercury in Capricorn, Mars in Capricorn, Mercury in Pisces. You have Saturn in Scorpio. You have Venus in Taurus and Jupiter in Cancer.
God almighty, it sounds like a different person, doesn't it? That's completely different than who, I mean, what about the rising sign? My rising sign 17 Capricorn. Does that put me in...
the same deduction you do, then your rising sign is Sagittarius.
Sag.
Or the ascendant is Sagittarius, and the ascendant is about 24 degrees Sagittarius.
Wow.
So So there is a paradigm shift in how the Western, the chart and the Vedic chart actually pan out.
So, okay, go on. That's fascinating. That's fascinating. Believe it or not, we have to take a break. Oh my God, we're at the first break. We're going to come back with my guest, the scholar and Vedic astrologer, Katti. Okay, Pundit Katti. Say your surname. Narahari.
You can just call me Harry. All the US people in my campus call me Harry.
Harry. Well, I got used to Katie now, or Katti,
Right.
Katie.
Whichever is good for you.
Okay, listen, just hang in there, folks. I have to play the music. It's all part and parcel of the show. You know, I had all this business. I'm just talking to my listeners now with the copyright. That's why you haven't seen some of the videos. I mean, the Blog Talk Radio is fine. You can always go to the show page and listen to any show. And the show page is all the W's, Blog Talk Radio / Cafe Esoterica Radio. And just scroll down, you'll find all my shows there, all of them. And they're also heard on Stitcher and Podbean and TuneIn, so we're all over. But the YouTube has been giving me a lot of jip about the copyright. And okay, on one level, yeah, you know, I don't want to, I'm certainly not stealing anyone's work, but the songs that I'm choosing are 50 and 60 years old. You know, I just thought maybe we could get away with it. But, you know, there's no Bruno Mars or whatever. But at the end of the day, they don't like it. And I guess that's the way it is. So I'm choosing now copyright okayed. These are songs that are given with that, you know, that you can play. And so the first one, and some of them are instrumentals. And some of them are Indian music, very pretty. I have a couple of those on there to honor my guest and his culture. Okay. So I'm going to play, this song is called Unconditionally by Broken Elegance. It's just an interesting instrumental. We'll be back in 4 minutes. So if you need to go and get a nice cup of tea or something, please do. And we'll see you in 4 minutes.
I will be back in 4 minutes.
Okay, thank you. Oh, it's a bit loud, sorry. Sorry, it's come up loud. Oh, it's too loud. What's happening? Sometimes that gives me a problem. Okay, we're back, and let me just get his mic. Hold on. Oops. Okay, Katti, we're back. You're on?
Yes, I'm here.
There's
Yes, I'm on.
There's a couple callers already, and callers in the queue, area code 650 and area code 770 and another area code 770. We will take your calls, but not just yet. So hang in there. Very happy to have you on board. Please hang in. And my guest will definitely take your calls. I want to go back to, we were talking about, what were we talking about before we took the break? It was interesting, I know. Oh, about the difference between the Western and the, can you tell me what Yoidish means? What's the word mean? Is it happiness? No.
Pardon, could you come again?
What the word Yoidish? Am I saying it right?
Jyotish.
How do you say it again?
I think I heard you saying Jyotish.
Is it with the ja? Joidish? Joidish.
J-Y-I-S-H.
Okay, I'm pronouncing it wrong.
It means Jyoti in Jyoti actually means light.
Okay.
And Ish or Isha means the study of light.
Oh wow! I know nothing. I mean, I'm a complete novice. You know, it's like talking to an infant. I really know nothing about it. I'm sorry to say, and that's why it's wonderful to have you on, so you can teach us, right? You can teach the entire listening audience, right? Okay, that's very interesting. Okay, so we were talking about just a little bit before the break. You don't have to do my chart. Okay, I'm not asking for that, but we're just using it as an example, so that that a person can be born in the Western astrology one thing, and the Vedic astrology it's different. I don't know why I'm getting feedback. And sometimes that happens. I don't know. Hold on a second. I want our sound to be all right. So hold on. Right. Maybe that's better. Yes. Hello. Okay.
Yes, I'm here.
Okay. As long as you can hear us and we can hear you, that's what counts. Okay, there is some feedback there. All right. So tell us about the courses you teach. Tell us how, let's say I come to your course in India or over, do you teach over Skype?
I teach online, primarily Vedic astrology. We primarily follow a sage, which the name of the sage is Parashara. Apparently, he was a great sage, I think about 5,000 years ago.
Right.
And he pretty much has written a monumental classic, which is the foundation book for any person who wants to get into Vedic astrology.
Right.
Then there have been subsequent sages till about, let us say, maybe about 700 years ago. But the most authentic is Parashara, and the other rishi which we actually follow is called Jaimini. So these two people have written certain texts which forms from the very basic of Jyotish to different forms of Jyotish. For example, there is mundane astrology. There is something called, we know that this is vanilla astrology, which is basically when a person will get married, when he'll buy a house, when he'll buy a BMW or a Ferrari, blah, blah, blah. But then there is also another science of Vedic astrology is sometimes a person may not have a birth chart at all. So how do we go about, because many people may not have even the day they were born or the date and the month. So we have something as in the English parlance, I say this as the hour of your question. So basically what happens is a person who has a chart, natal chart, or he or she does not have a natal chart. Sometimes this is what I do because I'm in office. I do not have access to any software of astrology. So someone calls who's very dear to me and says, look, what do you want me to do? Problem. So I take time is the time that the question was asked. It's also called as the horary astrology.
Horary astrology, yes. I know it, yes.
In Vedic, we call it prashna. Prashna means question.
Okay.
So, based on the time the question was asked, I draw a chart and I look at the placement of all the planets and the ascendant or the rising sign based on that question it was asked and give a prediction. That is another huge area of Vedic astrology. In fact, I did a whole one-day conference on this subject in Bangalore sometime in May this year. So there is medical astrology, pretty much all that which is there in the Western horary or Prashna, mundane astrology. Everything is pretty much also existing in Vedic astrology. However, the rules are a little different. Otherwise, both the systems, Western and Vedic, have the 12 signs. We basically have 9 planets, although Vedic does not take into consideration planets like Neptune, Uranus, and Pluto. We have something called as the shadow planets, which is called the Rahu or the Ketu, which is the northern node of moon and the southern node of moon. So, as far as the foundation is concerned, we still have almost the same planets. We have the same houses, but maybe there is a little difference in terms of the tools we use as Vedic astrology. Because to whatever little I know about Western, which is very, 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 very minuscule, I think all the timing in Western astrology is done pretty much on transits. I stand corrected if I'm wrong. But in Vedic, we have something called as the dasha, or we have planetary periods. Based on the planetary periods are calculated based on the longitude of moon. And to go further, there are at least 56 different types of planetary periods one can learn in Vedic astrology, depending on what and where and what is the usage. And some of the planetary periods are conditional. For a specific birth configuration of the chart, you use a specific planetary period. Otherwise, there is a standard planetary period. Then we also have aspects in Vedic, like just in Western. We have a trine concept, we have a square concept, but the usage is a little different. Because I think, like in Western, the trine is supposed to be very auspicious. I think in Western astrology also a trine aspect is supposed to be very auspicious.
Right.
Again, correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, no, trine is good. Yeah. Trine is good.
Please.
Well, I wanted to ask you while you were talking about, because it's funny, it's like you're reading my script here, so you're so tuned in already, you know. We do have a lot of callers. Callers, be patient, and we'll get to you. Okay, I'm really going to take your calls in about 10 minutes, so hang in there. You mentioned Ketu and Rahu. I know in the Western that the North Node and the South Node, which is what they're called in the Western, although a lot of Western astrologers are adapting this term now. Can you explain the term Ketu and Rahu? What does it actually mean?
Okay. What happens is there is an astronomical perspective to this, and there is a mythological perspective to it.
Right.
The astronomical is much more simpler because we know that the Earth actually goes around its own axis. At the same time, it is also doing a revolution around the Sun at the same time. So it is spinning on its own axis, and at the same time, it is moving around the Sun in an elliptical orbit. When you actually picturize it, when the Earth is spinning on its own axis and at the same time going around the Sun, there are two intersection points that you can actually measure out. These are not planets; these are just mathematical points, which are always 180 degrees apart.
Right.
So the northern side of the intersection is what we call as Rahu, and the southern node of the moon is what we call Ketu. This is the astronomical point of view. But from the understanding of the natures of Rahu and Ketu is very, very important, because like we have nature of Sun, Moon, Mars, etc., there are certain very, very specific natures to these nodes. The mythology goes, to cut the long story short, there was a demon whose head was cut off because he did something which was considered cheating. So the entire body of the demon was cut, where the head became Rahu, and the portion of the body from the below the head to the feet is what we call Ketu. And there comes the nature of these grahas. These mathematical points, Rahu and Ketu, are actually the points that cause eclipses. Rahu, whenever Surya and Sun and the Earth or the Moon come within the Earth's shadow, then either you have a solar eclipse or a lunar eclipse. So what happens is Rahu is considered. Both of them are called shadow, which means they don't have a body, they don't have a physical body, but then because they have a very specific point, Rahu has the nature of operating in darkness. Not necessarily all the time bad. To operate in darkness, you can actually have a positive way of looking at it or a negative way of looking at it. The positive way of looking at it is probably the famous chart of Albert Einstein, who actually challenged the status quo, which is the power of Rahu. So Rahu is that person who says, there is a law, there is a rule here, but I do not agree with that rule. So from a positive, constructive way, it is fine, but it also can mean a lot of negative things, because you are necessarily breaking a rule, which may not be considered very good in the normal parlance of society. Rahu, because he just has a head, he does not have a stomach, or rather he does not have a heart, by the way. I can connect it to all the negative things of what is happening in today's society. Because Rahu has only head and no heart, he has an extremely very powerful brain, because he thinks only from the perspective of the grey matter. There is very less emotions attached to him, because basically he does not have a heart, he just has a head. And you can get, based on the strength of Rahu in the chart, the person can be extremely spiritual. He could be very materialistic. He could probably challenge all that is existing in the society, and that would probably bring a revolution in terms of how the society changes its rules. And talk about any major revolution, be it the French or the Russian, all that is the power of Rahu. Ketu, on the other hand, is completely opposite. Ketu has no head, but he has only the heart. So what it means is, these people can be extremely spiritual also, but because they don't have head, just the heart, everything they probably do, they end up doing is basically the pull and the based on emotions. So what happens is, again, from a positive perspective, the heart can give a lot of devotion. So that's a positive thing. Devotion to your work, devotion to the God you are praying to, in a positive sense. But if Ketu in a chart is very, very badly afflicted, then what happens is this person can be also easily brainwashed because he has no head.
Mm.
So there comes people like Timothy McVeigh, who actually bombed the FBI office, or all these brainwashed religious fanatics. This is the power of the negative power of Ketu.
Mm.
So these are basically two extremes in a man's nature. So you can either go the positive way or you can go the real negative way. So this is very powerful. These are energies which are very powerful, although they don't have any physical body. For example, in the dead of the night, for no reason a dog would wake up and start howling, because the dog can see something which we human beings cannot see in the range of the spectrum of light, and so does Ketu. A cat can see a lot of things that
Yes.
what we cannot do. A dog can hear certain voices which we cannot do.
Mm.
So these are all some energies. If they are very good, then you have an Einstein there. If it is very bad, then you have people who actually wreak havoc in our society. That's where the roads in a Vedic sense come into.
Well, the reason I asked is, in the astrology summit, we had you there, which was fantastic, and we had a small gathering of different astrologers. And I've noticed in the younger astrologers, not people my age per se, but maybe my age, I don't know, that in Western astrology, we look at the North Node as the goal of the soul. The goal of the soul, the soul's goal. So, can you hear me?
A little bit, actually. I lost the...
Yeah, well, okay. So let me try this again. I don't know why it's making some funny sound when I talk. Why is that? Oh, I tell you, just don't want any more problems. That's it. Is it giving me feedback? What is it doing? Okay. Can you hear me okay now?
I can hear you.
Okay. All right, let me just go back to what I was saying, because so we had our little gathering of astrologers, and you were there, and we had a couple other people, and everybody has their own sort of thing. And I noticed with younger astrologers that they're using these terms from Vedic astrology. They're using Rahu and Ketu as the north and south nodes. Now, in the Western tradition, right? In the Western tradition, we don't see them like what you described. It's very interesting. We see them as the north, almost karmic, the north node of the soul. The north node is the goal of the soul in this lifetime. And the south node is the bucket of karma, the collective karma. We can't say exactly what life and what story, but it's kind of like a theme, a collection of previous life, and also our gifts that we come into. And some say you have to release the past in order to move into the North Node. And some also say that you may be going through that process many lifetimes, not just one. It might take many lifetimes to get to your North Node, the goal, the North Node, to realize it and be involved in it and live it. And so it's fascinating because it really is different. It's a bit like, in the Vedic, the North Node is really the head versus the heart.
Yes, and there's also a lot of I agree, because Rahu and Ketu, the nodes, are also in Vedic. They stand for karmic debt.
Okay.
Because the entire Vedic philosophy is all about, you will keep coming back into this world unless and until you clear the past baggage. So So Rahu and Ketu are actually those people who are responsible for increasing of the karma, and hence the cycle of birth and rebirth actually happens.
Okay.
So everything in spirituality, if you connect, it is all about bringing Rahu and Ketu to some spiritual level, so that we actually get liberation. So, there are Rahu and Ketu are definitely karmic planets, and I agree with the young astrologers. But they should also go back and read the mythological stories, which we call as Puranas. There's a lot of wealth of knowledge there, which will help them interpret a horoscope better.
Mm. Well, we do read our myths, but I think you're correct. I think we need to delve more. We need to delve into the Vedic, because it's much older, isn't it? It's just that simple.
It is. In fact, if you look at certain books which have been translated into English, these books were pretty much written more than 5,000 years ago.
Right. It's unbelievable, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's unreal to think that.
The question could be probably, a couple of years here and there, but everyone agrees it is at least 5,000 years ago.
My God, that's amazing.
For example, when I was in school, because of my Jyotish background, I used to ask my teacher, why does Monday come after Sunday?
Good question.
That was a question I asked, and then they just said, mug it up. Don't ask all these questions. But then there is a philosophy behind it, and there is an accurate mathematical philosophy as to why Monday comes after Sunday, why does Thursday come after Wednesday. Fascinating.
It is fascinating. Well, we've come to, I know it's so quick. It just flies by. I always promise my listeners that they can talk to my guests in the second hour. I have a ton more questions, but we have so many callers that I'm going to take a little break right now. This is just a 4-minute break. And then, Katie, if you're okay with it, then we'll take the calls, shall we?
Sure.
Okay. So my next song is also, it's just, I don't know what this is, something wrong with the mic here. I don't know. But it's Ben sound, which is for copyright free sound. I have to do it, but it's Indian music, so it's beautiful, and I'm going to play that. It's called Ben Sound India by Indian Music. I don't know, but it's 4 minutes long. So if you need to take a break, folks, go and do it, or just chill with us and listen. And we'll be back. And Vedic Scholar and Astrologer Pundit Katti Narahari will take your calls. And if you want to call in, the number is, area code. We're in New York, Long Island, New York for this call. So it's area code 516-387-1809. And I'm just showing my YouTube people. This is my guest. And he's written for the Astrology e-magazine. He's got a great article in there that's just come out. So we'll talk about all that when we come back in 4 minutes' time. Thank you. So hang in there, everyone. Oh, it's too loud again. Sorry. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the second hour of Cafe Esoterica Radio with your hostess, Shawn Cohen. That's me. And my wonderful guest, Vedic Scholar and Astrologer, Pundit Katti Narahari. So, Katie, should we take calls? Can you hear me? Okay, what's happened? Where is he? His mic's open. Can you hear me? Katti, can you hear me?
Yes, I am here.
Okay, great. Okay, I don't know why. I hope the sound's all right. It's doing something funny, but let's try. Should we try the first caller?
Sure.
Okay, let me go to who's held the longest, and it's area code 650. 650. Hello, welcome to Cafe Esoterica Radio. What would you like to ask my guest, and tell us your name?
Hi, this is Sandra. Thank you for taking my call, Shawn.
You're welcome.
Hello to your guest. Yes, I would love to know when you see marriage in my future, potential life partner.
I don't know if Katie can do the chart. What do you think?
Well, I can do a prashna. I can do a horary chart for this, can I?
Oh, that's good. Yes, that's good. Let's do those. Yes. So
I would want to know from the caller
yes.
any number between 1 to 108.
100.
100. All right. If you divide this number by 12, okay, and based on certain things which I do in my mind, you seem to be a person who is dominated by moon. Which means moon has got to do. I think you are very good in talking to people. I'm good. I think you are good in handling people. Large number of people. You can definitely do a lot of counseling because that will help. Because counseling is just not medicine; it's also talking to people. But as far as marriage is concerned, I think you have already. Okay. Are you seeing anybody right now?
Yes.
Good. Is that person older to you?
Yes.
Older in the sense, is there a age? The difference of age is more, or is it just about 1 year or so? I would say it is more.
It's more than 1 year.
Good. So, if you are looking for a particular date and time, I think you will have to, since Jupiter has just moved into Scorpio as far as Vedic is concerned, I think by September next, I think is a very, very, very good time for you to get into married life. Are you wearing any gemstones, for example?
No, I am not.
Good. Never wear a gemstone which is called blue sapphire and emerald, which is actually green in color. Otherwise, I think you are sufficiently okay.
I see. Okay, you don't need my birthday.
No, it's fine. This is also what I practice. Jupiter in Scorpio stays for a year. Jupiter has just entered this month, so you have about 1 year. But it is also a good thing if you can actually. Are you planning for any higher studies?
Some extra training, yes.
Right. I would definitely encourage you to use this Jupiter transit to actually consolidate your skills, maybe you should take some certification kind of thing.
Yeah.
That I think
That's what I'm planning. Yeah, I'm planning to.
Wonderful, wonderful. This is exactly, you are on the right path. So, is there any favorite? Is there any the prayer? Is there any prayer specifically you do, or is it something very generic?
Generic. I pray a lot.
Okay.
Yes,
What you can do is every Thursday, okay, you can pray a little bit more harder or longer. I think that would be great for you.
Okay. Good. I'll try that because I'm also hoping to move. So I will pray for that.
Jupiter is the power of the teacher, the wisdom.
I see.
Whatever doubts you have about this particular person will anyway get crystal clear by about February next year.
Okay, very good. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Sonia. Thank you for calling in.
Thank you.
You're welcome, and keep listening. So what he was doing, because she said, "Oh, you don't need my birthday," and what if people don't understand? This is Hori astrology, where you ask, you literally look up the planets the minute that someone asks the question. You take the date of the question, the time of the question, and that creates the Hori. Correct?
And with the number I asked.
And the number, yeah, I never heard that. So what is that? Can you explain that?
It's actually very simple. It's no rocket science. What you do is you ask a client to pick a number between 1 to 108.
Yes.
And whatever number is there, you first divide that by 12.
Right.
Right? When you divide that by 12, you get a reminder. That reminder is one of the signs starting from 80s. Okay?
Yes.
And the same number, you again divide, you take the same number and divide this time by 9. You get a planet.
I see. Very interesting. Okay.
Based on that particular sign and that particular planet, and the time she asked the question, things are actually much more simpler. This is a very ancient way of looking at snapshot analysis of a chart. Very
interesting. We do this in Western astrology. This is very similar. So we have more callers, and I'm guessing we're going to do the same type of format. So let's go to the next caller, which is area code. We have 2 different people from the same area code. The one who is the longest online here is area code 770. I'm opening your mic. Hello, and welcome to the show. What's your name and where are you from?
Hello.
Hello. What's your name and where are you from?
My name is Maddie. I'm from Georgia, Atlanta.
Hi, Maddie.
Hi.
Hi. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. I just tuned in, so I don't know if I know it's a Vedic astrology. I don't know if he's giving Rita. I just want to ask a question.
You can ask a question, and he's doing. Katti is doing Hori readings, which means he's using today's date and time. It's slightly different than getting your chart done, but that's how we have to do it on the radio. So, Katti, do you want to take over from there?
Repeat that, please. Hello?
Hi.
Breaking up.
Okay, can everyone hear each other? Let's talk one at a time. Okay, so can you hear Katti?
I can hear her.
Can you hear me? Okay. Let me see what I can do here. Oh, I changed phones. Maybe this would be better.
Oh, that's much better. Yes.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
You said you wanted. You said you wanted me to give the date, date, and the time.
No, you don't have to do that because my guest, Katti will just use today's date, and he'll ask you to pick a couple numbers and stuff. So I'll let you two talk, okay? I'll be quiet.
Okay. Okay.
All right. What's the question?
A question? My question is about finance, money.
Oh, money. That's the easiest ever. That's the easiest ever. So monthly. All right. Again, it becomes a little tricky because I'm sure that. By the way, do you have a lot of friends?
Friends?
Oh.
I have friends, but not a slew of them.
All right. So what happens is this is the point where remedies for getting money or remedies for any question is very, very specific as far as Vedic is concerned. So if you can, could you give me a number again? Give me a number between 1 to 108, please.
1 to 108? Oh, okay. 1 to 108. I'm going to say 8.
Oh, 8. Okay, 8. Okay. So a lot of things fizzle out at the last minute for you.
A lot of things happen the last minute for me.
No, actually, a lot of things actually go the wrong way at the last minute.
The wrong way the last minute. Somewhat, yes.
Okay. So when you said 8, 8 is a particular energy where you need to actually, when compared to others, you need to put 3 times the effort to get anything what you want. I think that's all happened in your case multiple times in your life, if I'm not wrong.
I have to go work a little harder to get what I want. That's what you're saying?
Yes, that's exactly what I mean.
Usually, it's kind of, to be honest with you, it kind of flows.
Mm-hmm. So what do you mean flows?
It flows, and I think the reason that it flows, in Western astrology, I have a water trine in my chart, and I kind of very intuitive, and it just flows. Has always flowed. I've never been with life.
When you say it flows, does something accumulate to you? That's my point.
Does something accumulate for me?
Mm-hmm.
So does it just flow, or do you get somewhere? That's what he's asking. Do you actually get somewhere, if that's the case?
Do I actually get somewhere?
Yeah.
Usually I get what I desire, yes.
Mm-hmm. All right. So the question is not about less of money, but you need more of money.
More the merrier. Yeah, it's usually, that's how, it's more the merrier. Yeah, not that I have like of money, it's just more the merrier. I'm just thinking, yeah, I would love to do, yeah, again, that's what it boils down to, more the merrier.
All right. So
you just do a little bit more nicer things for yourself and for others.
All right. So by 2020, I would really, I do know that you will be a part of, not as an organization, as an employee, but I think you either are already in business or you would expand in by 2020. There you go. More money.
More money. That's not far away.
No, it's 2020. 2018 already. This is just 1 year.
Yeah, it's not far away at all. You know, you look at it like a year passed over. So yeah.
Yes,
So I think that's the time I probably will. I think that's the time I probably will remarry.
Well, yes. From a Vedic perspective, if you can do any remedy with regard to Mercury, that would be fantastic for you.
Anyone with Mercury? Oh, yes. Mercury, communication.
Yeah.
Mercury is communication, it is speech, but primarily Mercury rules the entire wealth of the world.
The wealth of the world?
Yes.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Oh,
That's in the Vedic
very,
system.
very rich.
Oh.
In the Vedic sense, Mercury is that. See, what happens in Vedic is every planet, you can either see Vedic in the sense at the level of planet, or each planet has a deity associated with it. So the deity associated with Mercury is supposed to be the second richest. And that person actually gives money to all the other gods for interest.
Wow!
So he's like the bank. He's the celestial bank manager who owns the bank, and he gives money to all the gods whenever they want money. And if you can do any remedy of Mercury from a Vedic sense, that would be fantastic. Northeast of your house, make sure that there are no unused things placed. This is very important.
Oh, wow. You know, now that I'm thinking of it, I did have a Veda astrology, did a chart on me some years ago, and he did tell me that I do have the potential to become wealthy. Wow. Oh.
Right.
Wow.
And
in Western astrology, my Mercury is located in the 5th house of Sagittarius. I don't know if that means anything to you.
No, that's fine. That's fine. It is also possible that you need to be a little careful with the communication with the opposite sex. Most likely your Mercury, I know your Mercury is in Scorpio, so that is a lot of hidden energy there.
So, and Sagittarius, I said.
Yeah, that's in the Western. That's the Western position.
That's the Western world. But in a Veda, it would be Scorpio.
It will be Scorpio, and Scorpio is the natural 8th house. So from Aries, Scorpio is the 8th house. And 8th house is all about small things which are hidden from the past karma. So because it is Mercury, you need to be a little careful as to whom you share things with, what you share and with whom you share things.
I will remember that. I won't forget that. Yes.
Okay. And your own home, check what is there in the northeast corner. Northeast part of your house. Make sure that it does not have any things of the house which is old or not to be used.
Check anything that's old or not to be used.
In the
northeast.
northeast.
Don't have things like, you mop the house, you clean the house. So all those cleaning kind of things which are dirty, that place should not have anything, any objects that are used for cleaning or to remove dirt.
Oh.
So that's the northeast part of your house, he's saying. So it's like, yeah, so it's like,
no, I don't.
It's like feng shui.
I live on the north. I live on the southeast side.
But the northeast within your home.
Inside the house.
Within your home.
Inside the house. I get north, south, east, okay. I know my door is facing the east. Okay.
So you have to figure out.
Yeah.
Right.
So nothing I clean with is on the northeast side. No.
In fact, you can actually keep something that is very valuable to you. That would be very nice.
So something valuable would be very nice in that area.
Something valuable on the northeast side?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
It could be your wallet, it could be your purse, it could be books which you read every day. Those are something which actually are very, very valuable and very precious to you. For you, that is what you need to place there. That would be excellent. Unlocking this potential of Mercury for you.
Okay. Wow. Wow. It's different. Different. So it's so many. I was going to say so many astrologies. So many avenues. There's a Vedic astrology, Western astrology, African astrology. And I wonder sometimes which one is actually really, really correct.
Well, they're all correct.
Accurate.
They're all correct in their own way.
They're all correct. Okay.
Because they're correct for.
I mean,
all forms of astrology are fine. It all depends on how much of expertise you have in that particular subject to get to know the answers.
I got you. So they're all correct, whether they're Western, African, Vedic, India, goes on and on. Oh, okay.
So how many?
So
Georgia, how many animals are in the world?
Oh my God! Yes, I hear.
Which one is the right one? Do you know what I mean?
I hear your message.
Because that's the beauty of life. Whatever systems come about in various areas because they serve that area. You understand?
Yes.
And so Vedic astrology it's from the East, it's from India, and I've just learned a lot about it. I know nothing about it myself, and I'm learning. It's completely and I'm an astrologer. I'm a Western astrologer. So just to understand the difference, so vive la différence, as the French say, something interesting to look at and see, and. Katie is giving you almost like Feng Shui, which is from China. It's a different form in his I guess in his culture, to look at the Northeast and you want to get married. He's talking about love life and also wealth. So you got some good stuff there, I think.
Yes.
Very good.
Thank you. I feel that also, but I just get a little confused sometimes, and I guess in all reality, I don't take it that serious, but I do like it,
Well,
and this is again the entire point of Mercury. Mercury is a liquid, but also a metal.
Okay.
Point. So it whichever container it goes into, it takes the shape of the container. So the Mercury-based person is someone who can easily be impressed. A person can be very impressionable. So that was the reason I said, whatever is there within you, think twice before you share it with people.
Yes, I will. Oh, I will. And oh wow. And usually, oh wow. Okay. At one time I didn't really communicate that much. But something happened when I started working with the public. I started communicating more. And now, just recently, this is the Western astrologer, Sharon. Sharon is in my third house, a Libra, and that's all about communication. And I listened to the guy. He said, when you were younger, you didn't communicate that much, but as you get older, you communicate broadly. And I thought, that is so true. That has been so true for me. I communicate much more, and I love it. I find out I love it.
Well, that's fantastic. So you know what? Now we have even more callers, and we only have a half hour left of the show, and I have to do my bit. So we're going to love you and leave you. Enjoy, okay? And thank you so much.
I love you guys too, and I can get in touch with what's his name?
Katti.
The young Vedic astrologer.
Yes, Katti.
I'll go back to the archives and listen to the archives and pull up your information.
It's on there. You can also go to the Facebook group Cafe Esoterica Radio. Just join it. You can click on Facebook and look for Cafe Esoterica Radio. We have a group. Katti's contents and all his stuff is in there. All my guests have their stuff in there. It's a great place to come and hang out. Okay?
I will. I definitely will. Thank you again.
You're so welcome. All the best to you now.
Have a great weekend.
You too. Thank you for calling. Bye now.
Bye.
Bye. Okay, we're going to have one more but it's the last break. And then we're going to take the rest of these calls and we'll get through what we can. So here we go with Cosmic. Hi. And we are back with my guest, which is the Vedic astrologer and scholar, Pundit Katti Narahari. And we are going to dive right in. We have about 20 minutes, no less, about 18 minutes for calls. And we've got 3 callers. So are you happy to dive in and keep going, Katti?
Yes, I'm here. I'm here.
Okay, let's go to, I did the 770. There were two of them. So let me make sure I've got the right, because we just did one. So the next one is right here. She's held almost an hour. Hello, you're on the air. Hello, with Shawn and Katti. Hi, tell us your name, please, and where are you from?
Shanika, and I'm calling from Georgia.
Another person from Georgia. Well, 770 is a Georgia area code, I guess. Shanika, hello. What would you like to ask my guest?
I just wanted to ask when maybe marriage could be possible for me again.
So when is marriage possible?
Timing.
Okay.
Okay. Can you quickly give me your birth data? I have a mix of both, honorary and natal. Can I have your birth details, please?
So what's the birthday, please?
7/23/76.
So July?
July?
Yeah.
Yes.
The date, please?
23.
23. Year?
1976.
The time of birth?
5:13 p.m.
Okay. Where were you born?
New York.
Is that New York City, New York?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Because we need the exact location. Yeah.
New York, New York. All right. I have your chart here. And let us see. Mercury is I only born on Friday. Okay. Okay. Oh, okay. And again. So. Okay. So first, what kind of work do you do? Anything related to? I see. I'm seeing a lot of Mercury's here now today. Anything with communication, writing, probably. Is the caller still there?
I don't know. Shanika, can you hear him? Shanika, can you hear? Area code 770, Georgia. Shanika, hello? Oh my God, she's on the line, but we can't hear her. Okay, hello, Shanika. That's a shame. We lost her. Okay, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to mute her mic because we don't have time to waste. I'm sorry you had to go through that, but maybe we'll be able to get back to her if she comes back on. Shanika, can you hear us? Caller, can you hear us? No. Okay. We're going to go to someone else. That's just that simple. Let's go to area code 914. You're on the air. Hi. Tell us your name, please.
Hi, my name is Catherine, and I'm calling from New York.
Catherine, we just had, okay, that's great. So Catherine from New York, what would you like to ask Katti?
I have two work projects going on. One is an event, and one is a project that I'm wrapping up.
Okay.
Can you give me a number between 1 to 108, please?
207.
No, it has to be between 1 to 108.
Okay. I'm sorry. Okay, 108.
Oh, 108. All right. Which makes it simple. Okay. So, have you, in this particular projects you talk about, have you had any experiences that came out of the blue and ended up in some kind of a shock to you?
Yeah.
And did you lose money because of this?
Yeah.
All right. So what you need to do, and this actually applies to both these projects, and your current boss, is it very difficult to actually make any sense as to what he says and what he thinks?
Yeah. It was actually a woman, and at first she told me, yes, I like this project, I want to take it on for like years. And then all of a sudden I finished and she's like, no, I don't want it. But now, like, she tells me, like, she texted me, like, trying to be a friend. I mean, I don't know what to do with that, you know?
This particular number you picked up is actually got to do with that particular planet which you were already earlier talking. You have certain, it is very easy for you to get into these kind of experiences without any fault of yours. Any sudden kind of changes in the project scope, or very, very people who actually would have said to you that they are your support systems would suddenly change their mind. So it's pretty much a volatile kind of a situation at work right now for you. Would that be a fair assessment?
Yeah.
Right. So for the one, what you have to do for this is, again, as I said, there are certain remedies from the Vedic side, but if you can, every Thursday, if you can light a lamp to whichever church or whichever holy place you go to, I think that would, to a large extent, remove these blockages.
Wow. Oh, thank you. That's beautiful.
Yes, and it has to be on every Thursday. You pick a time. You pick a time at your convenience, whether it's morning or evening. But stick to that particular time every Thursday. Just light a lamp to whichever energy you pray to, and this would you will come out of all these uncertainties in about let's say 3 months.
Wow. Can I just let you know, I think it's funny you picked out Thursday because I'm born on a Thursday too.
And I didn't have your chart. Yes. The number says it up.
Wow. And I was hearing what you said before with Mercury. My Mercury is in Aries.
Okay. But this is very simple. These are some very simple and little things what everyone can do, and that can actually change the environment to a better future.
Thank you so very much. Thank you. God bless you.
You're very welcome, Catherine. Thank you again for calling in. Thank you. Okay, we have time for another one just before I'm going to just close Catherine's mic. Keep listening. Thank you, Catherine. Okay. So here we go, Katti with area code 650. You're on the air. 650. Can you hear me? Hello, 650.
Yes.
Hi, what's your name? Hi. What's your name, please?
Yes, hi. This is Sonia again. So my friend asked me to call back and ask a question regarding her daughter. I was wondering if Katti could help figure out when my friend's daughter would get married. I could give you her birth date and her time of birth. Yes, it's 12/2, December 2nd, 1990.
December 2nd, 1990. Okay.
Yeah.
Time of birth?
Time of birth is 12:41 p.m.
12:41 p.m. And where is the place of birth, please?
It is Princeton, New Jersey.
Houston. Did I hear that right?
Yes.
Princeton, New Jersey, right?
Yep. That's correct.
Yeah, Princeton.
Princeton, right.
Yeah.
I was wondering if
Yeah.
doesn't come there.
Yeah.
No, Princeton.
Princeton. What is the state? New Jersey, is it?
New Jersey,
New
yeah.
Jersey. Yes.
I got you, sir. Okay. This person probably has, she has a tendency to, we won't say fall in love, but she actually have a reputation of falling in love very easily. And she would be, well, a hardworking girl, and is she in some technical kind of work? Oh, that's okay. You don't know. That's fine. Marriage. That's fine. She has a excellent Venus, which is required for a good married life. It's a girl chart, right?
Yes, it is. Yes.
All right. For girls, the happiness of marriage is more to do with Jupiter than Venus, and Jupiter is retrograde. So what happens is it's possible that many of the attempts to get married has somehow got delayed or fell through at different points of the entire process of getting married. One thing she has to be very careful about is she will probably, almost certainly, get a husband who is very dominant.
Oh, really?
And I'm not talking dominating as in a negative way. There are different ways of dominating. For example, it is my way or the highway is one kind of a negative kind of a domination. But the spouse or the husband who is she's going to marry is going to be very powerful in terms of status, power. Most probably he'll be associated with some kind of government kind of a job. Pretty much he likes to advise in a very harsh way. Okay? He means well. He has all the, he means very well. He has all the good things at his heart. But the way he communicates is probably, something which this girl would not like. Right?
Oh dear. Oh, that's not good.
Everyone has to change a little bit, otherwise how does the marriage work?
I see. Okay.
Some people, both the parties have to reach some kind of a consensus. But that would be the nature. It will be a very good married life. She also should actually do something about her artistic abilities. I do not know if she paints, draws, but
she's starting to. But when do you see this gentleman coming into her life? Like when would you see this happening? When do you see their meeting, or when do you see the formal commitment of marriage?
Oh, that's pretty easy. That will be Jupiter is this. That will be by about 20. Give me a minute. Venus. Did she already like anybody?
She does like someone, but she realizes this person is not a good match. So she's going to explore different, meeting different men now.
That I think is a very good direction she has taken, because the person whom she actually had some feelings is not the right person for her.
Okay.
Right. I think again, coming back to the time of marriage, it would be by the beginning of 2020. So 2019 to 2020. So if I can actually narrow it down, so it would be 2019 October to 2020 January.
Oh, that late.
Late? No, it's not.
The end of next year. Maybe the end of next year.
1990. Yeah, she's 1990, right?
it's another year almost. That we're at the end of 2018, so that's end of 2019, where you're talking about a year later.
I'm actually talking, 2018 is almost over, right?
Right.
So 2018, I'm talking of a date range from October 2019 to about 2020 January. So we are talking about 6 to 8 months time.
Not a long time.
It's a year away. Okay.
Well, since marriage is a long commitment, I don't think she has to worry too much about 6 to 8 months. Do you?
No.
Okay. Sonia, we have to finish there, Sonia. Okay, you've had, because we're closing the show now. You're so welcome. And thank you. And well, what did you think, Katti? Did you enjoy yourself on Cafe Esoterica Radio?
Oh, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed every moment of it. I think we should do it more often.
Okay, well, that's a date. You got it. We will do it more often. And I'm just going to tell my listeners that next week I want to thank Katti very much. He's got some, Katti, tell us quickly what you've got coming up, because you've got a few workshops and things, right?
Yes, I have a lecture. I have to give a talk on wealth, November 9th. And then I'm planning another conference, astrology conference in Bangalore, sometime in December. But pretty much I have about 3 online courses going every weekend. So Saturday, Sunday is all astrology, and more astrology for me. I recently started a 1-year online course, and some of my students, I think they joined in the beginning. And we have an amazing 4 o'clock to 2-hour online webinar every Sunday.
Okay, that's fantastic.
Saturday, I teach Sunday.
Go on. That's fantastic.
So pretty much.
So if they want to get a hold of you, what is the best way? Is it Facebook? Is it your website, which is JYOTISHKATTI.com, right? Or
yeah.
Or Facebook.com, Katti 108, right?
Yes, Facebook.com. Yes, Facebook.com/Katti 108. That would be the most easiest way to catch hold of me.
Okay, because if you can't for some reason remember, come into the Cafe Esoterica Radio Facebook group. All you have to do in the search is put Cafe Esoterica Radio, and you'll find it. And all you do is ask to join, and all the information will be there. Katti will put it up. He's already put things up. So I want to thank you, Katti. I've got to close the show now. And God bless you. Thank you so much for coming to the show and being a wonderful speaker as well on the Cafe Esoterica Astrology group that we had. Okay? Thank you so much for that.
Thank you very much. God bless you.
God bless you. Okay, now, just one more thing. My guest next week will be Jenny Lyon Rainbow Anderson. That's quite a name, isn't it? She's British, and she deals with helping people to gain spiritual abundance. Many practitioners in the New Age really find this difficult. So Jenny's coming on my show, and we're going to talk about prosperity consciousness. And with that, I'm going to close the show out, which I always do within this metaphysical moment. Obviously, my friends, I had to take, not to, put a downer to the show, I had to take this moment really to talk about what happened in Pittsburgh. And of course, I've written about it. So here we go. God comes in many forms. In the wake of my hometown of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, grieving the massacre at the Tree of Life Synagogue, I must say something. This show, which I created completely with the intention to share esoteric knowledge, is always about peace, love, healing, and how to obtain it. I have guests whom I book from all over the world, which makes me so happy and proud to share their wisdom and their journeys to enlightenment. What can we say about hate? How can we begin to see why these atrocities happen? Is it mental illness? Is it a demon? Is it fueled by hate groups? I am all for conspiracy theories because they often reveal the hidden truth. But many truthers are saying that the Jews are responsible. I don't know if that's Matt noises. So let me go back. That was Katti's mic. Let me just go back where it says, I am all for conspiracy theories because they often reveal the hidden truth, but many truthers are saying that the Jews are responsible for the world's ills. And where do they get this nonsense from? Hate allows one to think sick thoughts and to blame innocent people for their own insecurities and needing a scapegoat for their lack of success. Their jealousy and their own misinformation, it builds and it is fed by others who have the same mental illness or issues, and then finally and sadly see how it manifested in a horrible slaughter of innocent people within a house of God, a synagogue in my hometown of Pittsburgh. It was heartbreaking to see this on the news for me, as I grew up in the Jewish community in Pittsburgh, and I knew some of the victims' family. No one should ever have to experience this, ever. God comes in many forms. Whatever your religion, there is a God behind it. So when you think thoughts of rejection, abomination, pointing fingers to one race of people, then you are pointing a negative finger to God. If you declare yourself to be spiritual or religious, there is only one rule, and that is love all, serve all. Never again shall we sit back and watch helpless, for we are one, and we must protect each other and love each other, no matter what. God is love, and in this metaphysical moment, God is within us all. Thank you, everyone. God bless. Good night. Good day. And we will see you next week. Same time, same place. I'm going to play us out with some beautiful Indian music in honor of my guest, Epic India by Carlos Estella. Thank you again, and good night.
90 seconds. Seconds.
And we're out. That's it. Good night. God bless. See you next week.
Thank you for using Blog Talk Radio. Goodbye.
Okay, so that was the live show, finished, done, and dusted. Katti was a wonderful, or Katie, I'm so sorry. My mind is 300 other places, not because I want it to be, just because I've been very upset about what happened in Pittsburgh. But I didn't want to cancel the show because, my guests take the time to book it, to come on, and, they want to be there, and I want them to be there. As in the old adage, the show must go on. And if we brought a little bit of peace and light and understanding to anyone in this world, then we've done our job. I've done my job. Being a light worker is never easy. It is beautiful. It is heartwarming sometimes, but it's also heartbreaking sometimes. And so, my message for my YouTube watchers is, peace. I was flashing this when I was a hippie in Pittsburgh at 14 and 15 and 16 years old. But really, it's peace. Peace has to reign on this planet. There's no more need to make other people suffer. It's only ego and abuse. And if you love and you walk with your head high and you love, you're in the right place. If you spill and pontificate hate, then it will all come back to you tenfold. So what are you going to do? You're going to talk about love? You're going to talk about healing and empowerment and self-empowerment in the most healthy, emotional way? Or are you going to talk about hate? Even the word has a negative vibration, and that negative vibration goes out throughout the universe. Every word you think, every single word you say, every thought you think, every action you do is written in the Akashic records for all time. You might not find that in every religion, but you'll certainly find that in spirituality. So if you want your life to be beautiful, then you need to act accordingly. Yes, not all people are meant to be rich and famous and on TV. Oh, gee, grow up. It's about empowering yourself in a healthy, emotional way and believing in spiritual things and knowing that you are part of the universe. People feel so disempowered. They feel so lost. There are a lot of people like me, and I'm not the only one. But there are an awful lot of people like me who come to this earth to help. Just to help. We don't get any special, we don't walk down a red carpet. We don't have barrels of money in our bank account, but we're here to help and enlighten and educate and hopefully make your journey through this process on earth, this educational process, which is really what it is. It is a school earth. That's what it is. People come here to learn. They choose to be here. They don't choose to be killed by other people. So the moral of the story is love all, serve all, and you'll be in the right place. Namaste. See you next week. God bless. Bye for now.